Yes, Thomas. Dex here. I just wanted to thank you for finally bringing, some real substance to the debate. Uh, I, I think perhaps hearing it from a veteran, the American people and people around the world will finally start seeing, the effects of what war really is. No, I don't live in America. I live in Canada, and I'm very proud. The heck did I do with it? I work for the Royal Canadian Legion Tribute here in Winnipeg. We produce a newspaper called the Tribute, and we honor our veterans by publishing their stories, and we pay tribute to the fallen heroes of Manitoba, the province in which I live. And it seems that, whenever I talk to a veteran, not to speak for them, but the country called for them, and most were just regular farm boys who, as I say, the country called, and they went, and when they came home, they were able to, I guess with the Canadian equivalent of your GI Bill, got back to business of, getting the farm going, or, business and so forth, and raising a family. And the only rah, go war, go sort of folks that I run into are those that have absolutely no background at all in or experience with family or and so forth with the war in the military. So I think it's great that you're doing this. I think it's fantastic that Phil Donahue and all those involved were able to get this film made. I think it's just important on all levels. I really hope that this brings attention to the new GI Bill that I believe it was Jim Webb, the Democrat, and Chuck Hagel, the Republican, that I've been rather baffled that John McCain, since he's running his entire campaign seemingly on his experience as a veteran in Vietnam, wouldn't be all over. So I'm just absolutely stunned. And, speaking as a Canadian, we have our troops in Afghanistan, and, it's tough. I mean, every time a Canadian soldier goes down in the field of battle, it's on the front page of every newspaper in Canada, pretty much, and it's tough. It's tough to take. It's I think somehow in America, veterans die when the soldiers die. It's almost become blasé, which is crazy. But it sort of seems to be that way. It seems that when you try and talk to people about it, if you're in a card playing room, or or just in regular chatting, folks seem more interested in who won American Idol or some crap like that. And so I just think it's important what you're doing. It certainly can't be easy for you. But I just wanted to let you know that I think what you're doing is at least as good a service to your country than serving in combat. I can't say that I at any time thought going into Iraq was a good idea. It was an oil expedition from the get-go. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't know how. I like to like to be able to give Americans the benefit of the doubt and say, well, there's no way that you could have known that it was faulty intelligence or whatever. But really, that's horseshit. Uh, you guys had as much access to the information as I did as a civilian in Canada. Uh, I didn't get secret briefings from super sources or anything, but we did have Scott Ritter on in the CBC, the UN weapons inspector guy. Of course, everybody had seen Colin Powell and Condi Rice and all the players totally downplay Saddam's significance pre 9/11, and the fear mongering and the ramp up and so forth was just wholly unfortunate. Wholly unfortunate. But again, I hope that the work that you're doing here and the continued efforts of Jeff Millard, and who I first came to know, I think he was featured somewhat as one of the contributors to Robert Greenwald's, Iraq for Sale, which may be the most important documentary made on the Iraq conflict. Just simply because no matter whether you're conservative or Democrat, liberal or Republican, whatever the case may be, I don't think it's in anybody's interest to allow companies to defraud the government out of $100 million or more. And the very fact that that's allowed to happen and people don't seem to really care a whole lot is frightening. And but I think, like, it's hard. I mean, my parents live in the States 6 months of the year, and my older brother, is conducting a phenomenal golf tour to raise money for Ronald McDonald House, and we'll be spending quite a bit of time in the States, and he does spend quite a bit of time in the States, and I know the American people are good people. I just think they need a leader. I'm 40 years old, so I mean I wasn't around when John F. Kennedy was around, and I mean now when you hear JFK, it's usually in a reference to when he was banging Marilyn, or the parties that happened and all that sort of stupidity. But sometimes I wonder, like, geez Louise, what would have happened? What would have happened if JFK wasn't the president during the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was a real deal? I mean, Christ, that was the 60s, and you had surveillance photos of, look, there they are. There are the silos. There's the missiles. We're not guessing. We're not thinking. We're not it's not a hypothetical here. There they are. And yet, through diplomacy, common sense does settle in. So I think this election is going to be a major watershed moment in America. And I think a veteran, a recent veteran of the conflict, like yourself, like Mr. Millard and others, is more necessary now than ever. It's ironic to me that McCain is basing his entire campaign pretty much on a tour of the bases and of where he came through and so forth, where not too long ago John Kerry was absolutely crucified for the courage of the winter, was it the winter people meetings. So anyway, I'm not sure what else to say or how to say it. Just mostly to say thank you, and hopefully this spurs some real dialogue, some real honest to goodness dialogue. And maybe the next time Tim Russert gets one of these guys on Meet the Press, instead of playing softball, he can ask a direct question, and don't let Hillary off the hook. Don't let Obama off the hook. Don't let McCain off the hook. You know, let Ron Paul speak, for Christ's sakes. Let Mike Gravel talk. You know, that's what I hope. That's what I really, really hope. And anyway, that's it. Have a good day. Peace. Dex out.